everybody, it's Micheline from Micheline Makes again with another vlog for you. This time it's a bit of a mishmash of a lot of things because I want to try and gather some comments that all of you, or quite a lot of you out there, actually gave to me, and I answered some of them, and I thought some of them might be quite, if you don't read some of the comments that people make to me, I do try to answer all of them, and it's not just with a kiss and a heart, or what is it? It's not a thumbs up, and I do give a thumbs up and a heart, but I like sometimes to try and make a comment as well, to kind of form this kind of pen pally type thing where we can talk to each other. Might not be able to do it as the years progress when my fingers get more arthritic, but I have found that actually I can talk to you on the phone. I can actually dictate it at the phone, so I might be able to do it that way. But anyway, in this video I'm going to tell you about some fabric that are some heirlooms. We would call them heirlooms, some people call them heirlooms. Heirlooms that something that I found in my cupboard, and I'll just show you what I did with them. My mum died in 2010. We started clearing out, when my father died in 2013, Mum had died in 2010, we were clearing out the house, and I came across quite a number of lace things. Yellowed. This one actually looks white on the screen, but it's pinky. This is a dirty white. This is a table runner, which in the olden days you'd have on your sideboard or on your table. It's a hand crocheted one in cotton. We've got the bag, as I say, there's a stain. It's rather badly yellowed and stained there. And then I've got another table runner. These are all hand crocheted from, I think they were my grandmother's, and I don't know if she would have done them, but they would have been hand crocheted. They're very yellowy. I'll show you what else there is. This is another table runner. It could even be a curtain or something, really, because it's got pattern on the bottom end, and then it goes to, if I can show you, I think it's probably for a window. It's got pattern at one end, and then it goes, yes, I think it's a window. It's some kind of net curtain affair. And again, it's yellowy. That colour there is completely different from that. Not really looking very nice. And there's a matching one, so there must be a set of, oh no, this is different. This is this one here is a wider version of the net, but again yellowy, so I'm going to put that to one side. Then I came across these, which are pillowcases with a lovely lace around them, and they again are very yellowy, even more yellowy because I've got a cat that's jumped on the table. She's not allowed on there, miss. And very nice, but it's very yellowy, so that's a big one. And then I've got two big ones, so that's like a matching pair. But obviously, if I was to put those onto a bed, whoever it was would feel that it was a bit disgusting. And there's a little white one with a bit of lace on the edge. So what am I going to do with it? Well, at first, when I first got them out, I thought, oh, let's put them in the charity bag, get rid of them. But then I thought about it, and as I say, I've had them a number of years, and I've just come across them again, and I figured I'm going to dye them. And the reason why I'm going to dye them, I'll show you this what the reason is. I have a love of pink. Well, this is a round hand crocheted tablecloth. It's very round. That's the centre bit. It's in half. I'll stand back and let you see. It's a round one. That's half of it. It was white. It wasn't dirty white, but I knew that I wouldn't use it. But then I thought I'll dye it, and I've dyed it pink. We've got a round table in the garden that we use for when we're entertaining, and I put this over it, and it looks absolutely lovely. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dye all of those there. I think I shall go for, it's got to be a plain colour. I don't really want to do everything pink, but a pink purple theme is most of my bedding is white with touches of pink or purple in. So I think I might dye that lot purple, especially since I've got some dye. And I'll show you what they all turn out like. This is the little bag that I've finished and dyed it purple. Thought you might like to see what happened to the ones that I've dyed. This has been dyed purple and it's turned out rather nice. No shading at all. I don't know if the camera's showing that. It's but definitely no shading. And this one turned out lovely. A little bit on the whitey side in places. I think it's the way that the fibres are. I think it's probably got a mix of a man-made with a polyester. But this has turned out quite nice. It's a long curtain that I could make some use of in some way. Don't know what to do with them, but that's one. And then the bag. And there's a cat who's meowing, aren't you? Yeah. And you want to be here, don't you? And what do you want to be here for? Where have you been? You're all covered in bits and bobs. Eh? Off my table. Come on. Off my table. You know you're not supposed to be on my table. And this table runner has turned out beautiful. Look at this. Is a slight difference in the fabric, but it's all done in the same dye. This is obviously more cotton. It's rather like a scarf or something. I don't know what to do with that. The only downside is there's a bit of white paint that my mother must have, or my dad must have got on. So I'll have to see if I can try and scrape that off. It's just on the outside. But other than that, it's not a bad little runner here. Then this one is the same as that one, as the first, as that one there. It's got little bits of white in it, but it's still quite nice. It's a lilac-y colour. And then this runner has turned out quite nice as well. This table runner or sideboard runner. I don't know what I'll do with them, but I just, they've gone from being yellow to being a sensible colour. Now this was the white pillowcase. The white pillowcase that had lace on it. And that's turned out very nice too. So I've got one little white pillowcase for a single bed. Or just to use on occasions for an under pillow. And these are really, really nice. These have turned out very nice. The pillowcases with the lace around them. I've got two perfectly nice ones there, so they will go nice on a bed. I do have quite, as I've said, I've got quite a lot of pinky purple themed quilt covers for our bedroom and for that I can use. And the other thing that I had, which I haven't shown you, is the other thing that I have that I haven't shown you is that my bathroom colour scheme is dark green, the colour I don't like, dark green and purple. And my mum had lots of very old towels that were really, you could have binned. But instead what I did was I dyed them green, I dyed them dark green, I dyed them purple, mainly purple. And they've all come, they're all still usable, but had they been white, they wouldn't have looked so good. So this is now a reuse. There's some lovely reusable things that I can use or find a use for, say. But they're far better than them being white, where they wouldn't have come in handy. And again, as I've mentioned to you before, I've also got my pink tablecloth that I made, that I dyed as well, my round one. And I was so pleased with that. That's why I wanted to do that one. Also, as a follow-on from the spider thing, a lot of you made a lot of comments about spiders. Some of you said, oh, don't like spiders, and other ones said, oh, I like them. I have to look after them and I have to make sure they're okay. Well, I have to agree. If I had, the fortunate thing is that in England we don't have, at least I don't think so, touch wood, we don't have spiders that bite. We have nice little house spiders. I don't know what the outside spiders do, but the inside ones are just nice little house spiders. So I'm less fearful of those. But I have, I often see YouTube videos where people have been bitten, and you think, oh golly, I wouldn't like to be bitten, or or suffer some kind of pain like that, because it can, I think it can cause some excruciating pain on your body. But no, our English spiders are nice. And so linked to that, and linked to another thing, they were like sitting on top of this desk here before, but they've gone off outside. It is about the cats, and I have to refer to you two YouTube vlogs that I'm sure you would love to watch if you don't know about them already. One of them is Simon's Cat, and it's a cartoon about a little cat, and he's a cartoonist who has basically got cats himself, and he finds them funny, and he basically, you know how cats have mannerisms and things. Well, he has done cartoons of his cat, and the one that he draws is actually just the outline of the cat, but it always reminds me of my white one, who does exactly the same kind of things, you know, acts stupid sometimes, and then other times acts really, really, oh, affectionate, oh, ah. Now, I've put a cardigan on before when I came in here because I was absolutely freezing. It's cold in England at the moment. We have changeable weather, and that's probably why I end up with cuts on my thumb, because at the weekend on Saturday it was sunshine, glorious sunshine, picnics all around, trips out and everything, and then Sunday down comes the rain. Monday down comes the rain, and it's pretty cold. It's kind of get your heating on weather. So I came in with the cardigan on, and I've turned my heater on in here, and I'm absolutely lathered. I'm getting very warm, so I'm going to take my cardigan off. Anyway, this is one of the this. Do you remember this top that I made? It was in pink. Didn't like the pink, changed the colour. So this is I can't remember what the pattern is. If I can think of what it is, I'll put it up there to let you see. Right, the other one is a new one that's come out. It's an American one. I think Simon's Cat's British, but this other one is American. The videos are only about a minute long, a minute to 2 minutes possibly at the most, and it's called Lucas the Spider. And he is the sweetest. If you didn't like, even if you didn't like spiders, I think you will like Lucas the Spider, because he is so sweet. And he's had millions of followers, and I'm sure if you like it, you'll subscribe to it and you'll be able to watch him, all these little episodes. I think the guy who does it uses his son or his nephew to do the voice of Lucas, and it's just so lovely. I just want to have Lucas in my hand. I want him as a pet. He's so lovely. Anyway, so that's Lucas the Spider. I want you that you can look at. Now then, what I've just been answering some of the comments on the on my last vlog, which was the short fabric haul, and the one where I mentioned the spiders, of course. And Rebecca Palomero and I think somebody else said they liked the jumper that I was wearing, so I brought it here to let you see. It's not a one I made, it's a one I bought, and I've had it 7 years because, and I know it's 7 years because my step-granddaughter has just turned 7 last month, and it was at her mother's shower party, baby shower party. I was invited to the baby shower party, and for the first time I was going to be meeting the great-grandmother on her husband's side, who I'd never met before. Now her husband's side are farmers, and this lady, I was expecting a great-grandmother to be a bit like the Queen, a very old doddery lady, and she was actually only a few years older than me. I think she was 71, and she had this jumper on. Well, not this one, but she had a jumper like this, and it was absolutely gorgeous, and I couldn't take my eyes off it, and I kept saying, "Oh, that's lovely, your jumper." I do tend to do that. Do you mind telling me where you got it from? And she told me, I think her granddaughter worked in a shop in the city of York, a boutique or something, or some dress shop. Oh, it was River Island. And she said, oh, my granddaughter works in River Island, and she said, I went to see her and I saw this jumper and I bought it. And so I just had to go and get one. You know, it's one of those things where I don't like people doing that to me, but when I saw that, I thought, well, I'll never see this great-grandmother ever again, probably. In fact, I've only met her once in the 7 years since, and she wasn't wearing that jumper and I wasn't wearing this jumper, but I went and got this jumper. And it's a River Island, and it has, I don't know if you can see because I've got bright light here, but it has sequins all over it. It's got lovely sequins all over it. And basically, if I stand back, I'll let you see what it looks like. It's more or less a rectangle. It's a big rectangle, and the sleeves are just half little short sewn on sleeves there. Don't know if you can see. I'll put it on to let you see what it's like. Oh, on the back, it's got a seam down the back, and the sleeves have, no, it's on the front, it has seams, raglan seams down the front. So I'll put it on and let you see what it looks like. But I just thought it was, I loved the way it sparkled. I'm not wearing the right things for you to see, but I loved the way it sparkles. The sleeves end up being that length, and I was wearing, at the time I was wearing with a black collar, black scarf with a little elephant brooch, which I got from eBay for about £3. And I just thought this was absolutely gorgeous. And like I say, you can see the spark. You might be able to see the sparkles on it. Can you? Can you see the sparkles? There. So, and it's a lovely it's an oatmeal colour, and the little sequins are all like a bronzy colour, a bronzy coppery colour. So I love it. I really do love it. So yes, this is a jumper, 7 years old, but I have this habit of when I get something, I think I've only worn it about 3 times in those 7 years. When I get something I really like, I don't want to wear it, and I put it in the wardrobe, and I just never bring it out. And this is one of these things that I love it so much, I don't want to wear it out. So in the end, I've been telling myself, come on, you've got to get it out. And actually, when I had it on the last time, I'd been to a birthday party. It was my husband's other son's daughter's birthday. She was 5, and we went to her 5th birthday party, and I was actually wearing this for the birthday party. So yes, I love this. I think it's really nice, and you'll probably see me wearing it again. She actually said she liked the jumper that I had on, and do I know of a pattern that she could get it from? Which is the back? Yeah, that's the back. Do I know of a pattern where she could get it from? Well, no, I don't. But if any of you can recommend a pattern for that, it is a very big baggy one. You could almost take a width of fabric if you can get this sequin type wool, because it actually, I mean, if you look at it, it's actually been sewn by machine. It's all machine sewn. It's not. It's what we call cut and sew, if I remember rightly. Yeah. Where's the actual sleeves? The actual sleeves are cut and sew. They're actually sewn in and probably cut as well. But if you know a pattern that might be very similar to this, then please let us know. But alternatively, you'd need to find some fabric like this with little sequins on. If you know of any fabric that's got sequins on, then do let us know that as well. Talking of brooches, where I said I wore an elephant brooch on my scarf, I got these 3 brooches from eBay around about 2 months ago, and I thought they were rather nice, and they were only about £3 each or something, like £2.50 or £3. One of them is this one, which is like a little bird with a turquoise stone, and I thought that would be quite nice. I tend to like to put it against a scarf. You know, I've got a plain scarf, and it just brightens it up or shows it off. Then the other one, I got 2 others, and I thought they were lovely, especially after I had the sewing bee. These are a little busy bee one. Can you see it? A little busy bee. and it's got little black stones, little yellow stones and grey stones, the two little black eyes, and that was a lovely one. And then I got this one again. I'm a sucker for brooches as well. I just think that jewellery in ways like this can set off a nice garment. That's the other one. See a little, can you see it there? Little bee. So I've got that one and that one, two little bees, so I could actually wear them like that, so that they're both on a, not on this, but on a scarf. Show them off on a scarf. They're just tiny. And I do like, as I say, I do love to have a little piece of jewellery on my clothes as well. So yes, and I can't remember how much these were. They weren't very expensive. They were just fashion jewellery made in China. You know, I mean, that was one of them, and the other one doesn't have any name. But I think I put a bee brooch or a wasp brooch or something. A bee brooch it would have been in eBay in the search bar, and that's what I got. A couple of pound. I'm sure they were only no more than £2 or £3 if I remember rightly. But so I've got those. Right, now then, the next thing I want to tell you about is, put this away so that I'm not crinkling paper in front of you. The next thing I want to tell you about is, oh yes, who was this? Yeah, that's going. Let me just find the person who meant, oh, Marilyn. Where are you, Marilyn? Marilyn Shepherd, who's from further up the country, further up from me. Marilyn she just made a comment about my last vlog about spiders. And I think I'd been saying about how when I cut patterns out when I was younger, I tried to save as much material as I could. And she was saying they call it Tetris. These days it's called, what did she say? I'll read what she says. One of these, no, hold on. How I remember the olden days. Money was tight, so we had to only buy what we would be sewing, and to the nearest quarter of a yard, as it was in those days. Actually, I always bought less and fiddled about with the pattern placement. Well, I did that, and I think lots of us did. They call it pattern Tetris now. But of course, Tetris hadn't been dreamt of back then, pre-computers and internet. And my comment back to her was, Marilyn, you and I and millions of other post-war sewists were Tetris pattern cutters before our time. Only we didn't need to think of a fancy name like that. It was simply called making sure there was no waste. So a couple of people have made comments about the fact that the way we used to sew and the way we used to do patterns in years ago when we first started sewing. And one person made a comment that actually made me think, you know, she's right. Who was it? Let me find out who it was. Linda Sutton. Linda Sutton said, I'm so with you about buying a pattern and fabric together, and didn't we feel excited to get home and start cutting it out? I've been choosing a pattern and fabric to sew from my stash this year, and it feels really good. And it just got me thinking, you know, Linda, you're right. We used to, as I've already said in a previous vlog, we used to go shopping. I used to go and look for a pattern. I had no intention of what I was after. I just fancied a pattern. Went through the pattern books as I've described in my last vlog. Picked a pattern. Then picked the fabric to go with it. And when I got home, I couldn't wait to sew it up. I wanted to quickly cutting the pattern pieces out. All over the floor was the pattern paper. Getting excited. I wanted to make it there and then. I just had to make something. You know, I had to get that fabric and make it into a dress or into a jumpsuit, because jumpsuits were the fashion back then, or a nice dress or something. And she actually made me think, you know, that was what was good about the sewing. You got excited because you bought this pattern, you bought this fabric, and you were putting the two together, and you were going to be creating something that you really wanted to get excited about. And sometimes you started, if I would go shopping on a Saturday morning, and if it was a blouse or something, I might buy a little pattern that was a blouse, or even if I'd had the pattern at home, and I'd taken the measurements with me and, you know, the quantities that I needed, I'd go to the fabric shop, get the fabric, and I was so excited to come back and turn that blouse into something that I could wear that night to go out with. And I just feel that sometimes when we have so much stash, we've kind of lost that excitement. And you know, I'm kind of thinking, now what am I going to do? I stand in front of the fabric stash and I think, what will I make fit? What will I make next? Oh, let's just have a look at the patterns I've got and see if that will tie up with something I've got there. Oh, and oh, have I got, now let's see. Oh, what do I need for that? Oh, no. Oh, well, I like that, but I don't know, none of that fabric that I've got tons of yards of or meters of doesn't appeal to me. No. Oh, we'll put it back and see if we'll have a look online and see if we can find some fabric to go with that pattern. So yes, Linda, you were right. I feel as if I've lost the excitement of sewing, and that's probably where we often say I've lost my sojo, because we're rattling out stuff, you know, not really. There's a lot of things we're rattling out that really, I mean, I've made some things and I've worn them once and then they've gone in the charity bag. So whereas when I was 16 or 18, if I made something, I wore it and wore it and wore it, and I wanted my friends to see that I'd made it. I wanted everybody to know that I'd made it. But these days we're just turning out so much, it's just quite hard. But never mind. Anyway, now then, I have been on for an awful long time now, and you're probably fed up with my voice. So I'm going to love you and leave you until the next time. Bye. Ciao.